What's up, family? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Clinton Nets. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for supporting me. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I just appreciate you, follow me along this journey. This is something that I just really wanted to give it a shot, and I'm gonna give it a shot. But alas, alas, we're going to get into the subject of the matter at hand. The biggest thing is that I just want to talk about certain things that were coming across my mind. Just a couple of opinions that I've just thought about for a moment, or certain subjects that I just wanted to talk about. One of the biggest things that I try to pay attention to, of course, everyone pays attention to it. It's a big thing in sports. I love talking about basketball. I love talking about football and any other sports as well. But I started off myself watching basketball and football. I played basketball and football, and that was just something that I, just always been in love with. Can't help but to love the game. So one of the subjects that I'm talking about and everybody else talks about is who is going to be the NBA final favorite. And a lot of people have, decided against two teams. They decided Los Angeles Lakers, or they decided Brooklyn Nets. And, at first I was very skeptical about the Los Angeles Lakers moves, their decisions, what they were trying to do. I'm not taking anything away from LeBron James. I'm not taking anything away from Anthony Davis. It was more along the lines of what you're going to do to build around this team. They brought in Russell Westbrook. I am a huge Russell Westbrook fan. I love what he do on a night-to-night basis. Triple-double machine, nothing's wrong with that. I feel like that it's not, flatlining his stats. I don't think, it's just nothing but air. I think they actually, mean some type of importance to a team, what he brings on a daily basis, on a night-to-night situation. And I think that when you think about his work ethic and what he brings, he's gonna do a great job. But I was skeptical about that move. I'm not going to lie. I'm still a little bit skeptical about that move, simply because you have LeBron James, who's a ball dominant player. You have Anthony Davis, who likes to get the ball, a lot. And you have Russell Westbrook, who is the same way. And they're all huge playmakers. They're all big people that, like to have the ball in their hand. And I don't know who's going to be really off ball. I think the only way that it's going to work is that if people sacrifice their time, or if LeBron James is more of a power forward or small forward type of role, and he just focuses more on rebounds, steals, assists, defending, and get about 20 points, a game or something like that. Don't do too much of scoring. Don't really worry about facilitating as much, and give it all to Russell Westbrook. Not only to Russell Westbrook, but also they have Rajon Rondo on the team as well. And those are two big facilitators. You have, I'm sure Rondo will be coming off the bench. And you have Russell Westbrook, who's going to be the starting point guard. Those are going to be some top tier guys, and you just gotta let them eat. Especially Russell Westbrook. I mean, he might make a mistake or two, but he's definitely one of those guys that you gotta let him eat. You gotta let him, do a mistake. You gotta let him, correct his mistake. You gotta let him just be Russ. And that was very skeptical to me, because I feel like that the best way that they could go about it is doing 3-and-D. But we did just watch Milwaukee Bucks win with really a not shooting team. That's not their primary thing. Their primary thing was defense. Then their second thing was just getting to the paint. They were good with mid-range shots. They were good in the post. They shot a couple of threes, from time to time, but that wasn't their bread and butter. You wasn't watching Milwaukee Bucks thinking, oh, they're gonna shoot a bunch of threes. It wasn't like, the Houston Rockets with James Harden and Chris Paul. It's not Trae Young. It's not Steph Curry. They were just out there, playing the game of basketball the way that it should be played. From Drew Holiday to Chris Middleton to Giannis Antetokounmpo, they were all doing their thing, to the point where Chris Middleton, there was some analysts believing that he was the best player. He was doing so good. And usually Chris Middleton is very inconsistent, but it was just something about that deep playoff run that brought out the best in all three of those guys, especially PJ Tucker, who unfortunately is not with that team anymore. I wish he was, but wherever he goes, he's going to be a huge fit, a huge asset. Bobby Portis was a huge asset of the Milwaukee Bucks, and he's still there. But, we just watched the team do that. And that just goes to show that there is a level of balance there's a level of talent, skill, and hard work where shooting threes are not going to be the 100% answer all the time. And I'm glad we had a team that showcased that. But nevertheless, I feel as if that the Los Angeles Lakers need some type of shooting on that team. And I saw they got Ben McLemore. I really don't know anybody else that they signed that was just worth looking at as, okay, this is a shooter. I don't think they really got anybody that was big with that. I saw the Ben McLemore signing. I saw Dwight Howard getting signed. I saw DeAndre Jordan. I think he's going to be signed. Carmelo Anthony is also getting signed as well. I think that they got Kendrick Nunn from the Miami Heat, if I'm not mistaken, and he's decent, but he's not like a dog. He's not just that type of person where, he's going to be shooting three after three after three. Kendrick Nunn is just one of those dogs, point guards like Russell Westbrook and Rajon Rondo, who's going to be a huge facilitator, who's going to be someone that can score at will, and go into the paint, figure out a defense with maybe a layup, or figure out a defense with a pass. That's just their game, and it seems like that they got a bunch of playmakers, a bunch of finishers, a bunch of hard-nosed, hit you in the mouth basketball players on that roster, and hopefully that works. My only issue with that is that age does play a factor into it, so I hope that they can go for it for the long haul. With the Brooklyn Nets, they didn't do the same thing. To them, they were more of a fundamental type of signing. Like, they got LaMarcus Aldridge, they got rid of DeAndre Jordan, they got Patty Mills. I think they were getting Paul Millsap. I'm not sure if that was finalized or not. I think it was. And then, of course, you got Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Joe Harris. And then, they kept the remaining of their roster. I think they were more looking into a strategic type of team, a team that was more about the fundamentals and just scoring at will. Like, there's nobody on the team that I can't look at and say, okay, they're not going to be able to score 20 points. Everybody on their team can score at least 20 points. And I think with their signings, the level of consistency that they bring to the table is what kind of gives them the edge almost. There's not a player on that team that I feel like can't get 40% shooting from the field in their sleep. That's just what I believe. I don't know. The Lakers, I'm still kind of skeptical about how all that's going to turn out. I know LeBron James, I know Anthony Davis, and the head executives on the Los Angeles Lakers will get it done and figure it out. That's something that I have no doubt. Frank Vogel as well. I have no doubt that they're going to get that done. But the Brooklyn Nets, they just have some type of culture there, and they have some type of roster that just looks like a fundamentally sound roster. Everybody else in the league, you have the 76ers with their issue with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. I honestly think they just going to have no choice but to keep Ben Simmons because they're asking for too much. I don't blame them for asking for too much, but it's a little bit too late when everybody knows that Ben Simmons wants to leave. Everybody knows that Ben Simmons was terrible in the playoffs, and everybody knows that the organization, from players to coaches to head executives, do not want Ben Simmons to be there. They're just really just toughing it out because they have no choice. Everybody in the league knows that, so there's nothing you can really do about that. Milwaukee Bucks, I don't see why they're not going to go back to the Eastern Conference Finals. At least it's going to be hard to go against the Brooklyn Nets, especially since you lost PJ Tucker. And that is my only issue with that. I wish they were able to run back the full roster at least and make a couple of adjustments, not too many, to mess up the chemistry. But I feel like since they lost PJ Tucker to the Miami Heat, I believe that's where he went. That is the biggest issue. The Miami Heat, they also, got Kyle Lowry. Like I said, they got PJ Tucker. They were able to get him. It just went well for them. I think that they're going to come back better than ever. And, that change to the roster and those dogs that they have now with Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, you still got Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero as your shooters. I think that's going to be a formidable team, and you got to be watching out for them. I don't think that they're going to go back to the same greatness that they had in the bubble, but they can at least have the potential to go to semifinals to the Eastern Conference. I just don't know with the level of talent that the Brooklyn Nets or the Milwaukee Bucks have, if that's enough. I really just don't know. I don't think it is, really. When you think about the Western Conference, there's nobody that comes to mind that can compete with what the Los Angeles Lakers did. Maybe the Nuggets, we'll see. The Warriors are coming back, but I don't think that they're going to be I just don't think that they're going to be able to, recreate any magic just yet. I think they are one more year into, the hole, and then we'll see. Los Angeles Clippers, they're still worried about the Kawhi Leonard's injury. And then they lost Rajon Rondo simply because they wasn't able to utilize him the way he needed to be. But Reggie Jackson was doing his thing. You can't take that away from him. Reggie Jackson did step up. Hopefully he continues to step up, and if he does, then they really won't miss Rajon Rondo. That's just the truth. But other than that, everything else was just here or there, changes after changes. It's really sad to see what happens to the Toronto Raptors, in my opinion, because you went from, winning the NBA Finals to now you don't have Kawhi Leonard, you don't have Kyle Lowry. Pascal Siakam has kind of hit a decline a little bit, but it's not too bad of a decline. And then you have Frank Van Vliet, who's really your main scorer almost. And, other than that, there's nothing to be really excited about. Hopefully, OG Anunoby can progress into a great player. They were thinking that he was going to be the next Kawhi Leonard, but I really don't know if that's going to be the case unless he has, the proper training and the proper development. And I don't know if Toronto Raptors will give that to him. Then, it's just I really don't know about anybody else. Dallas Mavericks, I have no idea. Hopefully Jason Kidd can, utilize that team to the best of his abilities. Hopefully Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis can play the right way, because I feel like if they do, then you should see them in the conference finals. Personally, that's just what I think. I think there will be a conference final team if they can utilize that duo correctly. I don't think Kristaps Porzingis is the issue. I think it's a Luka Doncic and team organization issue. And the reason why I say that is because I think about the time where they had Dennis Smith Jr. in the team, and Luka Doncic was up and coming. He looked like he was doing his thing, and Dennis Smith Jr. was a formidable player. He was showcasing his worth as well. And they were both equally, scoring about 19 and 20 points per game. And I thought it could work, personally. And then they got rid of Dennis Smith Jr. for Kristaps Porzingis. And nothing's wrong with that trade. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with that. But there's a pattern. There's a pattern here. I feel like you think that Dennis Smith Jr. can work with Luka Doncic. Okay, fair. That's a fair decision. That's a fair trade. Cool. Point guard and point guard. They're basically the same player. I get it. I felt like personally it could have worked, but I'm not a GM. I'm not an owner. Do your thing. So, excuse me. Gotta get a little water. I feel like it could have worked. So now you got Kristaps Porzingis, and you telling me a 7'2" center can't work? Who can work with Luka Doncic? Really? Who can? If a 7'2" center who can shoot a three, post up, go to the basket, defend, if he can't work, I don't know who will. And his value is not as high as it usually is. So who you gonna trade him for? Who you gonna trade Kristaps for? You're not. I don't know. And that's the problem with the Dallas Mavericks. So personally, I don't really see anybody else that can make a push as hard as the Los Angeles Lakers or as hard as the Brooklyn Nets. Hopefully the Bucks can come back and do their thing. At least take somebody to a Game 7. At least show us that you got fight in you. If if you get swept, I'm gonna be mad. And what they said about you and your championship might be true then. It was a fluke. You know, people feel like the Phoenix Suns was a fluke, and I don't think so. Now, do I think that they're gonna even get, you know, in the conference finals? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I don't think that's possible. They didn't make any signings except keeping Chris Paul. I mean, that's all they did, really, in my opinion. You know, hopefully they can run it back with that team. There was a couple of injuries on that team that made it a issue, but you gotta do some serious thinking. Hopefully you can develop DeAndre Ayton to a better center, because he was getting worked with Giannis. Hopefully we can see that. But man, that's just what I've been looking at as far as basketball these past couple of days. Just really, who's going to be in? What's going to happen with other teams? I don't want the same thing with Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors. I want, you know, competition. I want competition. I really do. But I'm a little bit worried that no one's going to be able to hold a candle with the Los Angeles Lakers or the Brooklyn Nets. And, you know, I want it to be at least some, I didn't know about you. I didn't know about you. What you finna do now? It's looking pretty bad for you. I want those conversations. I don't want it to just be look at them go. Up by 30, up by 40. You know, I don't want it to be that. You know, and hopefully it's not that. Hopefully it's going to be an exciting time to watch basketball. Some analysts believe so. I think, you know, it's a possibility. I am excited about the Chicago Bulls and what they're going to bring to the table. I am excited about what the Bucks are going to do, and if they're going to be able to, you know, go back to, you know, at least the conference finals, at least. Hopefully, what the Miami Heat's going to do since they got Kyle Lowry, and what the 76ers going to do if they still have Ben Simmons? These are questions that, you know, I'm going to talk about the cores, and, you know, I might talk about it in the next video or what have you. I do want to talk about the 76ers and what I feel as if they should do at this particular time. Other than that, I mean, that's really about it. That's just the main idea of what I've been thinking about and what everybody else has been thinking about, at least. But man, if y'all have any questions, if y'all have any comments, put them down below. If you have any other video ideas or stuff that you want me to talk about, just let me know, and that might be the next video, and I'll shout you out and you know, show my appreciation, my support. You support me, I support you. So thank you for visiting the channel. Hit the like button, and if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm signing out. Peace.